right, Celtics had a 1-point lead going into the fourth quarter, but scored just 11 points in that final quarter. Philadelphia gets the win here in Game 5. Final score 113-97, so we will have a Game 6 on Thursday night in Philadelphia. Tom Giles, Eddie House, Brian Scalabrine here with you on Celtics Post-Game Live. What happened in that fourth quarter?
Yeah, I mean, the NBA in general, and especially in the playoffs, is a league in which you got to figure things out as you go. And right now, the one-on-one at the end in the fourth quarter was not working. And there were times where you could drive the ball. If you look at what Philly did, they would drive it, kick it, and then they would get a wide-open shot. In the fourth quarter, the way we slowed down and played, it fell right into Philly's hands. We were playing faster, and then all of a sudden, Philly just started making shots, and it felt like we lost our swagger, our ego.
Eddie?
Okay, I'll talk now because I had a lot of things going through my mind right there, and I know I can't say it on air. But so what I can say on air is this: not only did we lose our kind of identity in that fourth quarter, they basically snatched it from us. You know, they put pressure on us. We didn't put pressure on them. Grimes had 9 points in a little stretch. He had 2 threes, and he got fouled, and he went to free throw line and made 3 free throws. He had 9 points. You start looking up, you start looking at guys that's not supposed to be having X amount of points. You're supposed to at least cut their water off. We didn't cut their water off. Embiid was getting to his spot. Well, we know where his spot is at. It's going to be over there kind of by the block, a little bit off the block. It's going to be elbow to elbow free throw line. That's where he's going to get his money at. Then you start talking about Tyrese Maxey. Now we're going to be in trouble with him because he's feeling himself. We didn't do anything in the fourth, because the first thing I thought, we up 1 in the fourth quarter, and I said, win the quarter, win the game. And, you know, we always used to say that in the huddle. Yeah. Win the quarter, win the game. We got demolished in that fourth quarter.
So, I mean, you can actually go back to early in the third, because the Celtics came out of the locker room, built a 13-point lead early in the third, and Philadelphia started to walk that down. Let's check out some of the second-half highlights here, what you saw from Philadelphia offensively. This is presented by TD Bank of the Boston Celtics, member FDIC, TD Bank, N.A. But you mentioned Quentin Grimes. He had 18 points in all. He certainly got hot in that third quarter.
Yeah,
Joel Embiid.
Keita getting in foul trouble hurt us. It was a bad matchup for Vooch. I don't know what they're going to do, but they can't go one-on-one with Vooch on Embiid.
I've been telling you, he's been in foul trouble all series.
Yeah. And then from there, what Philly had to do is they forced the Celtics to rotate. Off of those rotations, they kept getting wide open shot after wide open shot. And when Philly, they do have some talented players. And when they got it going, we had to do something. And we tried to answer the call offensively. We were not able to do it, though.
7 of 12 were the Sixers, by the way, in the third from 3. And again, it felt like that was kind of a point of emphasis for them early in the game. They weren't knocking them down. And then obviously you got into the third. They got a few free throws out of the gate, but then they started knocking down the ball from outside. And it's actually, you know, not a coincidence, but the team that's made more threes has won every single game so far in this series. It actually goes all the way back to the regular season.
You ain't lying about that. And we did take care of the basketball a little better. We did take care of the basketball better in the second half. We had 2 less turnovers. But when I start looking at things, right, we just can't make shots. Tonight, we couldn't make shots. We were getting good looks, and we didn't knock them down.
3 for 22 in the fourth quarter. Jaylen Brown, 0 for 6. Jason Tatum, 0 for 2. Like, we had 3 field goals. 2 from Hauser to 2 threes, and 1 layup from the Keita. That's it. I mean, you're not going to win games.
You're talking about 11 points in the fourth quarter when you got these type of players. You're not going to win games if you do that. And hey, we're not going to. What do they say in football? The overreaction Monday or whatever they say. We're not going to overreact to this game, but you do have to take heed to it and pay attention and say, hey, man, well, damn, 11 points. Yeah, I mean, 11?
We gotta execute better in the fourth quarter, not just for this series or this game. You know, now we got to go back and go to Philly for Game 6. But if you're gonna win in the playoffs, you can't have quarters like that. You can't take that many bad shots. And then you're supposed to anchor yourself with your defense. It didn't ever seem like they anchored themselves with their defense. Get some stops, string together 3 stops in a row, and then get out and run and get some easy ones. None of those things existed in the fourth quarter.
If you're going to score, you got to get some stops, right? And that fourth quarter, it smelled like a baby diaper.
It also felt like the one stop they got like early in that fourth, you had the offensive rebound that led to another 3 for Philly. So even when they got the stop on the first attempt, that's kind of the way things started to go. Joel Embiid did end up with 33 points in this one.
Yeah.
And it also felt like he impacted the game on the defensive end.
Yeah, because they were in that drop coverage, and we weren't shooting a 3 off the pick and roll very well. So Embiid had a huge impact. When Tatum went to the bench, and we had Vooch out there, Embiid was the factor, and he got to the front of the rim, the front of the rim, the front of the rim, and that was a big issue. They started fronting him, they went over the top. Embiid in the second half, that's the Embiid that could be a real problem. And if we're not going to make him pay by running the ball, like by playing faster or getting him in action, then we're going to get smoked by Embiid.
These are the plays right here. This is where he can thrive at, and what I said the block to the side, he gets to the basket, or he's over there at elbow to elbow free throw line. Early on in the first half, we were forcing him to shoot 3s, and he was missing them. And we understand, you coming back from injury and things like that, your legs aren't going to be under you. So what does he do? They make the adjustment. They say, we're going to start getting him closer to the rim, closer to the basket. And we understand that. I feel like pretty much the only guy that could give him some resistance is probably Tatum.
Yeah, maybe Joe should have went with Keita and fouled him out and tried something different. But whatever it was, this might be the worst fourth quarter of our season.
11 points. Come on, man.
And giving up 28.
Yeah, 28 to 11.
You're in a closeout game. I'm not trying to hit the panic meter, but you're in a closeout game. You have this team in your own building, and you give up, and you go in the fourth quarter. You're on the south side of 28 to 11. That's not gonna get it done. We're talking about going to the finals or winning a championship. That's not gonna get it done.
We went up 10 at one point and 13 at one point.
13. It was 63 to 50.
In the first half, we went up 10 at one point, and then we went up 13. So when you look at those things and then you give it back up, is that a lack of concentration? Is it a lack of effort? Is it just taking your foot off the gas?
No.
All of those things.
It's when another team makes the shot and you have to answer the call, right? You get knocked down, you got to get back up. That is where we struggle more than anything in the fourth quarter. When that happened, they started making shots. That insurmountable lead, they tried to do it on their own. We got slower.
Playing hero ball.
We weren't playing with force. That's a big problem, and we're going to have to figure this thing out because Philly, they're not a good basketball team. And for us to go 28 to 11, that's a big problem.
That's a problem for one quarter. I'm not going to overreact like that. I still feel like we're the better team, and we should close it out in 6 when we go to Philly and dance on their floor. But at the same time, it is concerning. I would say that. I'm not going to overreact and be like, oh my God, it's over with, and what are we going to do now? I will say that you have to be concerned about the way, because we know this, you know this, Scal, is that they're going to look at this, we'll look at the tape, and we'll look at it in a different way. The Sixers are going to look at that tape in a total different way and say, ooh, they might think we sweet. You know, to where we look at it and say, hey, you know what, we made some mistakes right here. So Game 6 is going to be very imperative to see how we come out and respond from the gate. And for 48 minutes or however long it takes, to me, that's the most important thing, is like the response.
All right, you see at the bottom screen there, 63 to 40 in the second half in total.